people, welcome back to the channel. It ended PSG 2, Tottenham 2, with PSG winning unfortunately on penalties in the Super Cup final. Plenty of positives to take though from it, and a massive foundation to bring on. I'd argue there's, the positives massively outweigh the negatives. As I said, if you do like and subscribe, let's get straight into it. So with the Tottenham lineup, there's a surprise in there for me to see the likes of Danso in there, and it becoming a back three. I mean, Sky Sports reported in TNT at the time that it would be either a back four or it would be a 3-4-3. For me, it was always clear it was going to be a 3-5-2. So I was happy with the lineup. The only concern was, when it was announced, was where was the creativity going to come from. But quickly, which we'll get into, didn't seem a problem. I want to pick out, firstly, Danso's throw-ins. They were like a massive weapon. It felt like almost as having a corner. They were like a secret weapon. And whether you like it or not, set pieces, they win or lose your football matches. They're very key. So little things like that. I mean, Danso clearly won that long throw audition. I thought we started the game well, and it was absolutely critical. Away from home, and it was always critical, isn't it? And I know, of course, not necessarily a home team in this fixture, although we are classed as the away team for it because it is over in Italy. But it was very important we started well. Best team in the world. We had to get through that first 15, 20, 25 minutes. And we done that, and that was so important. And we got the first goal in the 39th minute through Van der Ven. It was a great instinctive finish. Of course, like a striker's finish. Okay, he had a tap in the end, but it's like, no, that's absolutely mine. He made it his. That eagerness, that hungriness. It's a really nice finish, never in doubt as well. Van der Ven's first goal for Tottenham in 15 months. It was another goal from set piece. It's good to see us finally taking them seriously. Honestly, they mean a lot. Whether you're an attacking team or defensive team, you win games or you lose games from set pieces. We have to be good at the little things. And Frank's all about, for me, that extra 1 or 2%. That's what he brings to the table. We look dangerous and look like scoring from every single set piece. So in that first half, I think we looked very good, and evidence of that, for example, XG stats, PSG only had 0.27 in that first half compared to Spurs' 1.2. However, PSG 71% possession to Tottenham's 29. PSG had 4 shots, Spurs had 9 in the first half. Shots on target, 0 PSG, 3 Spurs. Big chances created, 1 Spurs, 0 PSG. But PSG having 3 corners compared to Tottenham was 1 in that first half. So I think we deserve to be ahead. Could have and should have been ahead by more, if I'm honest with you. I was impressed with our defensive structure and how we pressed. Is really resolute first half performance. But then we get on to the second half now. Again, we started really well, come quick out the blocks, sharp out the blocks to start both halves. Again, so important. If you start first half well, really important, but you need to start the second half as well. But one thing we could do under Ange and previous managers was play well for more than one half. We said it under Mourinho, we said it under Conte, we said it under Nuno. Couldn't play for more than one half, and we did in this game. So that was good. 48th minute, the goal come from Romero to make it 2-0. So another goal from a centre back. Very nice goal, but the goalkeeper should be doing better. I think we'd be very disappointed. He's a top goalkeeper as well. They got themselves a good signing and replacement for Donnarumma. 52nd minute, I thought Danso had headed it in to make it 3-0. That would have definitely ended the game. He headed it just wide. I think on reflection, he done well to get up on that, but he should be getting it on target at the very least. 55th minute, there was a penalty shout for potential foul on Porro, but there's nothing doing. You're proper clutch at straws at that. One thing I'd like to say, and we've known this for a little while, but more evident in this game again, that Frank, the instructions and tactics he gave, for example, in this specific scenario during the 2 drinks break, in particular in that second half. That's what I'd like to see a manager do. I love Ange Postecoglou. Be forever grateful for what he achieved at this club, the Europa League, although I do think we have to move on from him now. However, we did lack that kind of coaching. Frank's definitely a better coach, even the in-game management. Whereas Frank will change his formation in the game. It's that constant input, that micromanaging on the touchline. It almost felt like we had Antonio Conte in charge as manager at times. That's how I personally felt. Anyway, take that as you please, but I just feel like that's how it was. It's the micromanaging, the constant feedback, and I think that's what the group want. It's what the players want. And I think that's a real positive. That's just how I feel. But the players will deep down know whether that's right or not. I just like that manager that is inputting instructions, getting the tactics board out, giving players feedback, instructions, rather than just standing their hands in pocket. What else we have? 72nd minute, substitutions are made. Gray and Solanke come on. Palhinha and Richarlison came off. I think that for me is where the game changed. 79th minute, Tell come on for Kudus. And then in the 85th minute, PSG got a goal to put it back to 2-1 Spurs from Lee Kang-in, the substitute. Great strike firstly. Not a lot we could have done about the initial strike, but we started to look tired at this point, and I personally believe we missed Richarlison and Kudus to hold on to the ball and counter-attack. Richie is the best game I've seen him for a long while in a Tottenham shirt. I've been very critical of him. I've even said I would sell him if the offer was right, but he showed everything in this game and was absolutely class. Kudus as well, very good in transitions. They both gave everything for the badge and very key, and which has allowed us to get out. You can sit deep against PSG, talk about the best team in the world here, but we got out. Counter-attacks always look dangerous and look like scoring, and that whole worry about creativity went because these two are just doing so well. 88th minute, an important header from Romero off the line. 89th minute, PSG also had a penalty claim, would have been very soft, not given. 89th minute, Bergwijn finally come on for Matchday. Sarr. What a shift from Sarr. Late pressure from PSG. We got 6 minutes of additional time. It really dragged out, felt like an awfully long time. Then the 94th minute, so the 4th minute of additional time, PSG got that second goal, that equaliser, all-important equaliser from Gonzalo Ramos. Another substitute, a dagger in Spurs' heart, real heartbreak. Nicely worked move, very clinical from PSG. We're 120 seconds away from getting there. Incredibly frustrating. I think, firstly it was Richarlison and Kudus' press. I think we sat too deep in invited pressure. We can get onto the positives a little bit, but I just want to say that first. We definitely sat too deep, invited the pressure, couldn't get out because of Kudus and Richarlison. Tell and Solanke just didn't offer the same. Solanke's just come back from injury, and Tell, I think, hasn't had a great spell since signing from the club. Having said that, the abuse he's received is totally wrong, and I do want to get to that in just a little minute when we go on to the penalties, but he just didn't offer as much, which is frustrating. It felt like playing with 9 or 10 men. Hopefully Tell will work out with time though. We just couldn't handle the late PSG pressure. We just crumbled, unfortunately, which is so frustrating. But overall, we would have all taken getting to penalties at the start of the day. That's what's important to remember. So with the penalties, first penalty was scored by Dominic Solanke. Very worried about his short run-up, and so were the commentators. But no, real conviction and confidence about the strike, with power behind it, accuracy too, very good. First PSG penalty, talked about strange run-ups and positioning. Vitinha, prime example. All this stutter run-up, really weird, just to miss. It's incredibly embarrassing. So we had the advantage from penalty one. A second Spurs penalty, Bentancur scored, never in doubt. He always backed it to score, and he showed it really confident. He's a confident player as well. Good strike. Second PSG penalty scored by Ramos. Very nice penalty. I mean, never in doubt as well. Straight down the middle. Bit of an ego, bit of an attitude towards the Spurs fans, but still very good penalty. I suppose you have bragging rights after that. Third Spurs penalty was taken by Mickey van der Ven and missed. Comfortable save for the goalkeeper. Third PSG penalty taken by Dembele, was never going to miss, was he? Comfortable goal. Fourth Spurs penalty, Matthias Tell, who missed, maybe tried to be too clever and stutter, in my opinion, and put it just wide of the post. I know open goal as well, really frustrated for him. Fourth PSG penalty was scored by Lee Kang. Fifth Spurs penalty scored by Pedro Porro, very nice, never in doubt. He had to score. And the fifth PSG penalty to win it in the end by 4-3 was Mendes, who scored. So it hurts, but I think the bigger picture is incredibly important, and annoying as it is. We're talking about here the best team in the world, and we've gone toe to toe with them. We've actually, in my opinion, outclassed them, and we were 120 seconds away from beating the best team in the world. And this is a new manager, a new system, still trying to get up to grab with things. So I see that as a real positive, and the bigger picture, though it's hard to look at it, for me is just so important. So important. Of course, it's frustrating to lose on penalties. It always is. Penalties are a cruel way to win the game. I hate it. It always hurts, especially more the fact that we deserve to win this game. There's so many positives to take out of it. It can't be forgotten. Battling to the end, pushing them all the way. I think the future is bright under Thomas Frank. I feel like the foundations have been set now. Of course, it's a shame we couldn't hold on and get the victory that we so deserve. It's a trophy as well, but I'm still very, very proud of the boys, and I hope fans are as well. Definitely, defensively disciplined for so long. Sat too deep at the end, yes, and couldn't get out and pay the price, but it's the foundations now that have been built, which is very exciting if you ask me. But I want to get on to the Tell criticism, because he's one of two that missed a penalty. Some of the criticism and abuse Tell's got is nothing short of disgusting. It's disgraceful. Yes, he had a poor cameo when coming on, didn't do enough, lost the ball too many times, gave away unnecessary fouls, missed a penalty too, but a reminder he's a human being, and he's just 20 years of age at the end of the day. Get behind our players, even if you don't agree with the decision to sign them. There's no benefit in slaughtering our own players, or slandering, going for them, whatever you want to call it. What I do know is that it didn't work with Brennan Johnson, and it's not going to work with other players as well. So really feel for Matthijs Tell. Hopefully he can differentiate, like Johnson eventually did, those minority of Spurs fans, those idiots in his Instagram comments or on social media. I've seen some horrible stuff with Tell, even some racial stuff, which is absolutely disgusting, that I've had to block and report. All of that is just completely unacceptable in this day and age. It's really sad as well that it has to get to that. You can object to the signing of Tell when you have a valid argument, as you do if you as well think that we should have signed him, but don't start abusing players. It's not right. Human beings, they have a life, no matter what they're paid. But overall in the game, we nullified the best team in the world for 85 minutes. So many positives to take out of it. It massively outweighs the negatives. I just think it's so easy to get caught up in the result. I think Thomas Frank got his game plan spot on. So nearly got it complete, which is so frustrating. Maybe Vakari, I don't like to look into it. Could he done better with the penalties? Didn't save any. I hate to be the one to think about that or ask those questions. Also look at this as further evidence to a certain man in Daniel Levy, the Tottenham hierarchy, the Tottenham recruitment team, the Tottenham board, whatever you want to call, whoever it's responsible to in your opinion. It's evidence that we need more. Have a good starting 11, but their substitutes weren't enough to allow us to hold on to the game. It's no good just having a good 11. You need a good squad. I think we have okay depth. We still need more depth, but it's mainly quality that we need. But if we could bring on quality replacements for like a Kudus and Richarlison, or quality replacement for Paulinho, we hold on to that game, in my opinion. So that's a big signal, big message to Tottenham higher up for me. I think Frank will go back to his back three. I think the commentators on TNT Sports have been honest and kind about it at the same time. A bit naive. I don't think Frank has one way of playing. I don't think he has one system, one formation, one tactic. So to say, he's going to back three every week, I think that's a bit naive. I think it'd be totally flexible. And if we are going to play a back three, though, on more than one occasion, then we need to go out there and sign a centre back. And I didn't realise how urgent until people brought it to my attention. Dragison's injured long term, and Takai's also injured. Vuskovic is likely to go on loan, which leaves us with just Danso behind Van der Ven, and Romero Davis can step in as well and do a job there. There's several players that impressed in this game. Man of the match I would give to Sarr. I just thought it was absolutely everywhere. The engine room of this team. What an incredible performance. I've never seen him play so well in a Spurs shot. I mean that. So he would be my man of the match. But there's some that get really close to it. Jed Spencer's one. Unreal in 1v1. Had Dembele quiet. Had Doure quiet. Spence thrives in 1v1s. Out of position as well at left back. Just what a performance he is. And I look at that and go, yes, sign him up. Contract extension. Pay him whatever he wants. He's that good of a defender. It's Spencer's a case of, can he stay fit? What's his best position? Can he do more than 1v1s? Honestly, that was such a good performance. Richarlison as well, I've given his fair share of criticism, so I've got to applaud him when he does well. Immense going forward, a real menace, a thorn in a defender's side. It's one of those games where very rarely to say, but I wanted Richarlison to stay on. I know why he didn't at the same time. That's what I will say. As much as I wanted Richarlison to stay on, I was saying to my dad as well, and I stand by it. Would we all be annoyed if Richarlison played to the end or played a little bit longer and he got injured? Let's say Daddy's ACL out 5 or 6 months. It'd be fans would be up in arms. Same as Solanke, right? Come on, didn't do a good job, didn't look fit. And it would have been a lot better to keep Solanke on, to keep Kudus on, instead of bringing, for example, Solanke and Tel. But if you don't bring Solanke on in this game, you have to against Burnley. He hasn't got minutes in the tank and he's rusty. He's more likely to get injured against Burnley. So there's so many things to consider. Man of the match, very tough, as I said there, but I would go with Sarr just about. But no, I think that overall, I just wanted to say, I think there's a lot of positives to look into it. And the last thing I will say is, I like that Thomas Frank, he gets the tactics board out during the drinks break. See, Frank's a lot better coach. I think that's really important. I did touch on it earlier. I think it's so important that it really benefits this team. So close to executing the perfect plan. We mustn't get hung up on the result, as annoying as it is. We've got to look at this and go, yeah, we did throw it away or bottle it, whatever you want to say. But overall, we went toe to toe and outplayed the best team in the world. The future is bright. How can you look at it any other way? That's my opinion. But do get involved in the comments below with your thoughts on this video. You have player ratings and more videos coming for this game. So thank you very much for watching. And for now, a massive come on, you Spurs. Without you,